This is me, it's Queen Said Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Now, if you have to ask somebody, you may as well ask an Aquarius. Might as well. So, because we have a lot to say, why not ask an Aquarius? So, that kind of got me in trouble because my Aquarius men in the audience, not all of you, about a handful of you, not even most of you, are getting on my case about the speculation, they say, that everybody has that they do not know how to communicate. Now, I want to put it out there. I'm not saying that you all Aquarius men don't know how to communicate. I'm not saying all of anything is anything, because you can't say that about anything. I've told you time and time again, you can't say all Aries are fiery. All Aquarius men don't know how to talk. You can't say that. You can only say certain ones, or it's common, that kind of thing. It's alarmingly prevalent, things like that. But you can't say all, for a number of different reasons, mostly because a person's whole natal chart has to be taken into consideration. You can't just look at their sun sign. You got to look at everything. So you can never say all of something is something. So I'm not trying to say that all Aquarius men don't know how to communicate. I would never say that. But what we're saying, me and a lot of other people in the comment section, is that Aquarius men do not know how to communicate often. Commonly, it is alarmingly prevalent. I know some of you can, because some of you probably grew up in households that were emotionally healthy. I mean, just by the law of averages, some of you had to have grown up in a house with a mother and father that taught you how to talk through your feelings and be emotionally healthy. Some of you were smart enough to figure it out on your own. Some of you took the time to learn it. Communication is a skill. Remember, any skill can be learned. So some of you might have got self-help books, went to workshops, watched other people. I'm certain that there are Aquarius men around the globe somewhere that know how to communicate effectively their feelings and their thoughts to their lovers and their family members and their loved ones and that kind of thing. So I'm not saying all of them. I know some of you got to be able to do it. Just by the number of averages, some of you got to be able to do it. But what we're saying is that we don't know any. I might know one or two, seriously though. But what we're saying is that it's very common for an Aquarius man not to know how to, or to choose not to communicate. That's all we're saying. We're not saying that it's all of them, and we're not saying that it can't be learned either, because they can change if they want to. If you want to learn that skill, you can. If you want to learn how to cook, it's a skill. You can learn it. You want to learn how to do calligraphy? It's a skill. You can learn it. Communication is the same thing. You can learn how to be more effective at it. So I'm going to give you guys, this is all about you today, Aquarius men. I'm going to give you guys a letter. This is a letter that a woman sent to me, a Leo, and it's about her marriage. And this is an illustration of what I'm trying to tell you guys. Y'all keep telling me that it don't happen. This is an illustration, and I've gotten countless letters like this. This is what they're talking about, okay? She said, "Nothing my husband says makes sense. I am seeing a different side of him. Perhaps I was under an illusion before. He has wanted a baby for 5 years now. I am pregnant now, and he's manipulating me. Comments like, when I try to communicate with him, he'll say, 'You do you, and I will do me.' He doesn't want me to bother him. He always wants to be alone. So I go out or ignore him back, give him some silence, and he starts contacting me nonstop. Wants to go for coffee, wants to know where I am, to meet up with me. I have checked his phone and his Instagram, no signs of cheating. Everyone loves him. He's the Aqua that picks up babies in public and old people fall all over him. Yet silence is all I get, making this Leo's head spin. I need to find some answers right now. I feel he's only feeding off of my positive and giving nature. More of a best friend than a husband. So, Aquarius guys, this is the kind of thing that women are saying. And women, if you're in a relationship with an Aquarius man, you can go to the comments and tell us, does any of this go on with you? So, the problem here is that he's not communicating. Now, there could be a number of other issues going on here, because I'm assuming from the vibration that he's not communicating for a reason. Usually that's what the problem, something's wrong here. So what I'm saying to you, Aquarius men, is that maybe he has communicated this to her. Maybe they've even talked about it before. Maybe it's been an ongoing fight, but there's still a communication issue because he's giving her silence and smothering her when she pulls away. You know, look through what's happening here. We have a major communication issue in this relationship. So I'm just using this particular letter to illustrate this to you, because this is what happens a lot. The Aqua male will communicate his feelings. He'll be not heard, or it'll be a fight, or it'll be an ongoing fight. And then he'll stop talking. Then when the other person shuts down, then they come back forward. And they're always talking to other people. They're fine and, you know, talking to others. He's out there kissing babies and hugging old people, but he's only giving her silence. He's not talking to her. Now, I'm not saying he never communicated it, but he needs to keep on talking his way through this situation. And the reason why I'm pointing that particular piece out is because that's what happens a lot with Aquarius men. And Aquarius women too sometimes tell me that. They'll be like, Queen, I already told so-and-so, so-and-so. And I'm like, I understand that, but you can't just stop talking. Just because you already told them, if it's not worked out, y'all got to keep talking about it. If it's not worked out after that, y'all have to find a way. You have to work together. You have to get a mediator if need be. Go to therapy together, couples therapy. You know, you have to keep talking. You can't just say, I already told her already and she acting simple, and don't say nothing else. You have to keep talking your way through it. If that's your significant other, if that's your mom, if that's your child, if that's somebody you really love, Aquarius man or Aquarius woman, because some of us struggle with this too, you have to speak. You can't just be like, I already said it, I ain't saying nothing else. You see, you can't do that, because what's going to end up happening here is she's only going to bang her head against the wall so many times before she says, you know what? She's already thinking he's using her for her nature, for her energy. She's already getting to the space where she's getting ready to shut off on his ass. And he gonna be sitting there looking like he obviously doesn't want her to go anywhere, because when she pulls away, he runs after her. So that's how we can see that these two people really do love each other. They're just having a communication issue. So for the beautiful Leo lady that gave me this letter, my answer to your question is the two of you have to communicate this through. I would recommend some type of couples counseling, because what's happening here, like I'm telling the Aquarius man, is that you guys have to learn how to communicate more effectively. You have to get to the bottom of what the problem is, why he's shutting off. He's shutting off because he's upset about something. His little nasty attitude and telling you to do you and all that kind of stuff, he just mad. He mad about something. And you can't just let whatever that something is go. You have to figure out what that something is, and y'all have to work through it. Whenever you're in a relationship with anybody, you have to work through it. Most of us don't do that, though. I know I didn't when I was married. Something pop off, I was like, whatever, he'll be all right. I just flagged him, you know? You can't do that. You and your husband, your wife, your whatever, you guys have to work through and talk through things together. You have to compromise on things. You have to do that together. You can't just say fuck that and get the other person your ass to kiss. That's your partner. If you had a business partnership with somebody and you guys had two different ideas about where the business should go, you wouldn't just say fuck them, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. Y'all would probably have a business meeting, you would talk through it, and because you both have money and time invested into the company, both of you would come to some kind of agreement, or one of you would buy the other one out. It's the same thing in a marriage or in a long-term relationship, or when you're with somebody you care about. You can't just say F it. You have to work through it. And if it means talking about it repeatedly till you're blue in the face, you have to come to some kind of conclusion. I've noticed that with a lot of relationships, especially mine, one of the problems was things lingered. Things that had no conclusion lingered and eventually broke us up. Something that happened in your 4th month of dating that was never resolved will break y'all up 5 years later because it's still there churning and causing issues. Everything has to be concluded in some kind of way. You agree to disagree, something, some kind of consensus has to come, or that thing will tear you two apart eventually, or it'll cause you to go cold on each other, but it'll damage the relationship in a way that's irreparable. You see? All right, Miss Leo, get your guy and the two of you find a way to work through this issue. There's love here, a lot of it. And you can salvage this relationship if you guys start to do that. Otherwise, you're wasting each other's time. And you got a beautiful baby getting ready to come into the world. It will be really nice if the two of you could at least be on the same page when your child arrives. Okay? I hope that helps. Aquarius men, I hope that helped you. And don't come at my neck. I'm trying to help y'all. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to somebody who needs to hear this information. You may know somebody out there, Aquarius or not, who needs to hear this. Thank you guys so much for being here. And if you want to get a reading, or if you want to talk to me, I will leave my email. If you want to ask a question for the show, I'll leave my email. If you want to ask me on social media, I'll leave my Facebook and my Instagram. If you want to send me a love donation, I'll leave my PayPal. And if you want to give me a gift from my Amazon wish list, I will leave that as well. Okay, guys? See you later.